sent me the message you usually sent me every year. You've been faithful. So my wife was like, what happened?
Apologies.
My wife asked me, did Joel send a message? So I was like, oh, this time he did not.
Oops.
So
I repent.
I've been married for 4 years now, and I've not found it hard or pressing as I used to hear it before I got into it. You know, people kind of scared. They speak many things, and literally as a young man, you almost get scared, and some get scared. But for me, I was like, I was very focused, and I did not want to waste time. When I looked at her one time, some years back, she caught my eye, and I was like, one day, I'm going to drop the bomb. Wow. And when the time came to drop the bomb,
how long did it take you between that time and the one day that eventually came?
You just like, if you are on the village, every time you go fetch water and you see girls, so and so walking, fetching water, and you're like, she looks nice, she's nice. I mean, so it was like that for about 4 or 5 years. I mean, I just looked at her.
Lucky she was not taken by someone else.
And she could make me happy. I mean, I could get excited.
So she knew you were watching her?
No.
Okay.
Just what you saw is what excited you.
Yeah.
What made you happy?
Yeah, it made me happy.
You said that some people were telling you, different things from all over the place, but are you sure, and so on. What are some of the things that people told you that maybe in their opinion it was... they were incredulous about your readiness?
Well, one of the things they said, because my wife is born here in Kampala, and I was born in the village somewhere in Toro, and so people used to say that all women in Kampala are not really good women. So they could say it's better go in the village and get a woman in the village. But for me, I was like, you know what? Anytime, any day I see a wife, a lady I love, I would just go in for her. And when I saw her, my heart was always on her. Though I had not shown intention to talk to her, to ask her for marriage, but my heart was always somehow, searching for her. When that day came, I just came and dropped the bomb.
Wow.
And somebody exploded.
And because I was a blessed man, and of course, after dropping it, I knew I'm blessed.
Did you feel ready the time that you did drop this bombshell? What made you feel I am ready? Besides the fact that I've seen somebody that I like and they look like they will accept, generally, what made you feel I am ready for this?
What made me feel that I am ready was number one, I thought I was an adult. I had grown enough. I was 30 years old when I dropped the bomb. And at this age, I thought that I'm ready. Though later I discovered that had I known marriage was so good like this,
wow,
I would have gone at 20.
You would have reported for duty earlier.
Yes. I just discovered that, oh my God, I missed a lot of good things years back.
How may I tell people they don't catch late comers? But you felt ready.
Yeah, I felt ready.
Good for you. Janice, I know you talk to many young person, those that you feel this one looks like they are ready. They're done with school, they probably have a job, and and you keep propping them and saying, hello, boss. What's wrong with your problem? And are you seeing trees all over the place? I know some of the people that usually nudge and slap a little bit, but some of them, I believe, tell you, I'm not quite ready. When you interrogate further, what do you hear by their saying, I'm not ready? What do they mean when they say, I'm not quite ready? When they break it down and try and adumbrate it for you, what do they say?
I am guilty as charged because I slapped some people like you on the back.
Which is not a very evil thing.
Only people that I am confident will not take it in the wrong way.
Sure thing.
But when I probe deeper, one, I know that there's probably not a time when someone can be, there's no perfect time really. But then again, you don't want to miss out on a good timing when it's looking right in your face. For example, if I see a young girl, she's finished school, she's very attractive, she's working, and I'm thinking, And I'm thinking, okay, what is
she waiting for?
What is she waiting for? Because she's practically, me, I feel like she's ready or she's ripe. Some people say ripe.
Yeah.
And so many girls, I would say myself inclusive, at an age when I see those girls, when I was that age, many girls have a lot of admirers at a certain age, maybe even later on. But the challenge comes when you have so many admirers, you might otkutomera, or sometimes you might fall into a trap, because there's this one looking at you, there's this one looking at you. So usually I would like them to get out of that trap and focus on this particular person and get on with it. Why it is dangerous to wait longer is because, for example, Joel, you have a variety of food. The way what we call a buffet or something like that. You have the peas, you have the meat. It is very
peas
tempting.
I don't like, but something else.
etc. For those who have eaten buffets, especially in hotels, which are, every dish is looking,
beautiful
and yummy. And so even some people get to the extent of filling the whole plate, and yet they didn't really need it. So same thing here. Variety can really spoil you. So you're not decided. I like the people who just go straight to the matoke and chinyewa, and they're like,
they know what
because they're used to this.
Yeah, exactly. But not many people do that, because you find someone, they've filled their plate, and then it's at the end of the meal they have left half of it, and so they were spoiled for choice. But these young ladies, that is the same scenario. You have a lot, you're looking at this way, you're looking at this way, and so there's a very high risk of you starting to sample. And sampling is not a very pleasant thing. Oh, this one looks nice. Oh, this one has money. Oh, this one has a ride. And coincidentally,
in fact, you get confused.
Exactly. But that's not what you're looking for ideally. You're looking for the guy who loves you and you love them back. So the challenge, some of the challenges I found with these young girls are that, there's too many nice guys. This one likes me, this one has a car, this one, but I'm like, who exactly have you zeroed in? And they are confused, like a buffet meal. So for me, I normally encourage the earlier the better.
The earlier the better.
The earlier the better. You save yourself the risk of looking east, west, center, whatever. But as I said, there's no perfect time. So mine is the earlier the better. I got out of school. It's not as if we just bumped into each other. No. I went to school and I found this gentleman. He was a year ahead of me. I was a fresher.
That was campus, yes.
Yeah, that was in Chambo.
So while others were busy studying for you, you were busy gallivanting around.
He saw and I saw. And he was a gentleman enough to not come straight, direct, but asked a lady, can you please talk to this lady, But, what I'm getting at is that we spent time seeing each other. We went through school. Of course, he was in another course and I was in a different course. But for that time, when he finished school, he started working. I finished school. And we promised each other marriage before we left school.
Hey.
Yeah, we said we will get married in the year 2000. For some strange reason, 2000 was supposed to be a year that strange things would happen. Computers would crash.
The end of the world.
And what? So for us, we just saw it was the ideal time to marry. And indeed, 2000 came and voila.
Incredible. Ronald, you will meet many a guy that will say, look, my bank balance is not as I want it to be. I am still trying to put one or two things together. I don't know, I'm probably still building for those who are. Some will say I'm still trying to settle down and that kind of thing. Do you think they're just giving lousy alibis, lousy excuses, or do you hear them? Do you feel them?
I think they're driven with the fear of uncertainty. They don't know what is really going to happen. They're not sure of themselves. They don't know what is really going to happen to them in the future or to themselves. They're just lost. Sure. They're like the children of Israel on the sea.
Wondering.
They are just crying, and God turns to Moses and says, why are you crying? Come on, go ahead. So, to me, or young men or young ladies, they shouldn't be focused on finding how much to amass wealth than to go into marriage. I have a
Build a
testimony for me, build a house. Some of them, they want to build somewhere on the lake, on the
Then
hills.
bring in the lady.
I mean, it's such a strange thing. I mean, once you start going into those things, it's my opinion, and opinions are like noses, and every nose has some holes. So it's my opinion. For me, when I decided to go to my wife, I was somewhere in the field preaching and harvesting for the kingdom of God. And I remember I had 700 shillings in my pocket.
That's when you did what?
What?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah, I've
as,
always told
when-
you. I have always encouraged you, Joel, to tell many people about it. I had
700
700
Let me look in my wallet. I'm sure I have more than 700 shillings.
So you're rich and you're ready to marry
So I'm-
Joel.
But I think I had behind that there was a much more force, which was God Himself, because all my trust was in God. So I went and bought airtime of 500 shillings,
Wow.
and in my wallet I remained with 200 shillings. Then I called her. I said, I want. I always tell her. I always give a testimony.
To your wife.
Yes, to people. And when my wife is hearing, then I said, I want to meet you. I want to see you. She said, okay. On this date, with 200 shillings in my pocket. Then I borrowed 10,000 from a
Wow.
friend. Now I have
It's good to have
10,200.
friends.
Then I came from all the way from Iganga and met my wife to be in Kampala. So I bought a glass of juice or maybe some snack. So I remained with, I think, about 1,000 to take me home. So, I mean, the journey started like that.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, God was so gracious. Things worked out. We had a very wonderful, colorful wedding. And what excited me, a year before, I was at the Entebbe airport. And I spoke to the Entebbe airport. Airport, open up the doors because I'm coming. So the next year I get married, and somehow we're preparing for the wedding and stuff. So someone says, "Where are you going for honeymoon?" So we are not very sure, by the way, but we had trusted God, and this guy drops tickets and drops money for us. I mean, God drops things. So after the wedding like this, I saw the visas, the tickets at the wedding venue.
You said you went to Entebbe and spoke to the airport.
Yes.
Carly, I'm coming.
Yes, open your doors.
Open the doors, you're coming.
Yes.
I should visit Entebbe one of these days, but anyway.
Oh,
So,
please.
I mean, just how it was like that, then we were on the plane off for the honeymoon. So that one gives me strength, and I always tell men, don't talk about those things of amassing wealth, then you get married. Trust God, and He'll make your way straight and permanent.
Amen.
Janice, for many a married person, and I'm sure some single people listening to you, they're thinking, look at these married fellows. They're already there. They have no clue whatsoever. They are lambasting us, but they do not know what things are like. Times have changed. Everything is pecuniary. It has a monetary attachment to it. And the guys will say, look, it's important that I take care of my family, and right now I don't feel like I'm ready to. A girl will say, look, the guy that I want to go with should have a certain financial status. And I know we in church will, throw stones at them and say you're evil and so on. But they'll say, look, this is serious stuff. Because you see, when we get married, we're not going to eat love. We've got to put food on the table. Children are going to come. And all these things have got to be taken care of. And so these single people will ask, what is wrong with waiting till I feel financially secure or financially ready to run a marriage? A family, for that matter.
Wow. I wonder how financially secure one needs to be to run a marriage. I don't think we have an answer to that, because the responsibilities come as you move along. But personally, I think, and even with my husband, we have talked about it, and can you imagine how? We got married that early, and we're like, the one thing that we can appreciate about the early marriage is that we didn't have a house to call our own. We're going to rent. In fact, he was renting. The good thing is that because with marriage you have to be mature, and maturity is not just about age.
Certainly. I've met 45-year-old boys.
Maturity is that you are ready to account for your actions. You're mature enough to make decisions and live by them. And also, maturity is whatever comes. I mean, at that point, you're getting out of your parents' house, because it's not about age. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not about age. But many of us are mature, but we probably are fearing, I don't have a job, I don't have this. We started together in a 2-room rented house. I remember my husband, I saw it as a big house, by the way, at that time. Because I was like, oh, he's been...
There was nothing in it.
Well, there was a chair, a couple of chairs, and saucepans to cook food. And he was living with his young brother. He was supporting they were living together. And he was ready to marry, and he felt like this is decent enough. That's what decent is and what really nice is. But he felt it was decent. I am very sure that when
liked it.
Exactly. When I went to the house, there was a bed. And I remember, at least our counseling sessions that time, the pastor would ask you, do you have a bed where you are going to sleep? I don't know why it was such an issue, but it was like, so that you're not going to sleep on the floor. I think it's important. But there was a bed, there were chairs, and there were saucepans. And this man loves his food and he loves to cook. So there were definitely saucepans. What am I saying?
But
We
just Janice,
started
sorry to cut
yes.
you short. I hear your story of you started together and so on. How many young ladies today
Want to
are willing to do what you did? Today you guys
Not
are
many.
clearly thriving. I've visited your home and but how many young ladies today, they've been through school, they come from, fairly well-to-do families and they're ready to go in this 2-roomed house with one bed, one chair, and I don't know how many saucepans, and start that way?
Not many. There are not very many, and I would understand because times are different. Times are definitely different because in our time, we dated on an ice cream. Chippers was the place. So we could afford an ice cream, and so we shared it. And then we would make sure, at least he made sure that I had my taxi fare to take me back home, even as I came. And he would escort me to the taxi park.
So he didn't have the car?
No.
Okay.
We didn't even have a phone. I mean, we dated we would make an appointment on the call box. He would say, we're going to meet on this day. Yeah. I do my housework at home. I go, I come. I wait for him. No phone. Where are you? No. You sit down. This is the place where you plan to meet.
Oh, unto the latecomers.
Oh, Shtegera, you drink, you sip on that soda until he comes or until I come. And so it wasn't so much to do about finances. It was so much to do with the person, that this is the person I love. I have met this person and I am okay. He didn't have that much money, but it wasn't about the money,
So in other words, you are not looking for the money and...
No. I was seeing the person.
So the whole thing was not built on money.
Because I had been to his home. I had visited and his home, his parents. I knew that he came from a good home. And he had seen my dad. He had come and met my dad. And we knew each other, where we came from. And I knew what I wanted. I saw him and I saw what I wanted. So it was not so much as today. Today, the girl needs to be able to, to see a car, to see a house, and it's different. And this is a different generation, as you can see, Joel. Because guys would like to feel some oomph when they have something and the girl knows they are coming to something. It wasn't the case during those days. Because we got married, and even my father knew that this man did not have a property to call his own. But he saw him, he saw the attributes,
saw the potential,
the character. That was the basis.
Interesting basis. Let's take a breather right about now. We are talking about when it is right to marry. You've had our panelists and their thoughts. You've had their journey, their story. What do you think, the rest of you? In the meantime, you can give us feedback even as we take this break. When do you think is the right time to marry? Send us a text message to 0753 104 104. When you get back, you call 0414 34 20 20. And I have something to give away. It's the Love Week, so why not? Why not give you something? And what is it that I'm giving you? It's a hamper that has got a beautiful mug, it's got a card, and it's got chocolate. So there you are.
So
you
it
want
could do
to
a
stay
good
good?
Valentine gift.
There you are. So those of you
Start
saying,
with me,
Smanya, there's no
Joel.
money. There's no what storage. You'll call on me, I give it to you and I sort you out. All right, we'll be right back.
Start with
You're listening to Fahrenheit. You're listening to Fahrenheit.
Yes, you are listening to Fahrenheit on 104.1 Power FM. I'm Joel Senyonyi. Tonight, the week's hot potato is not your usual kind. We are not discussing politics or any of these other things that raise eyebrows and just get people tipsy-turvy mood in. Tonight, we are reflecting on Valentine's Day, which is coming up, and we are seeking to understand when is the right time to marry. Is there such a thing as the right time to marry? Anyway, my guest this evening, Janice Luchamuzi, Mrs. and Ronald Rugasira, Mr. They've shared their story with us. You have heard it. What do you think? How about you? When do you think is the right time to get married? You might be married, you might be single. Shoot through your thought. The number to send a text message to is 0753 104 104. You can also call 0414 34 20 20. And one of the winners will walk away with a hamper that will have a beautiful mug, that will have a card and chocolate. You want to win that. How shall we determine who the winner is? My guest will help me determine. So you call and tell me when you think the right time is to marry, and afterwards we shall hear them tell us who they think the best response. Give us the best response, and that's the person that will walk away with that hamper. Somebody else says marriage is a good thing when one is ready and not influenced by people. However, some jump into it and fail to make it work. Can you people encourage them? This is Yosa. They've just been encouraging you, Yosa. Yosa, I know, for example, you're very broke. I know you. But do not fear, Yosa. This man had 700 shillings, you know. The Luchamuzis they didn't have much. So, Yosa, my friend Yosa, listen to what the Lord is saying, the Spirit of the Lord. Somebody else says, when the girl you proposed to stops changing her mind, naye girls, be serious, banange. Learn to mean what you say. This is somebody called Kennedy. I think they are complaining.
wow. Changes her mind.
They are saying that is the right when to marry. You know, when the girl stops to change her mind. I think in this case they've changed their minds.
Oh, yeah, several times.
Too many a time and is disturbed.
So you take.
Unfortunately. All right. Process says when you are ready for the obligations that come with marriage, for example, financial, raising children, maturity of thought. Interesting. I hosted this Prosy not too long ago, and it was interesting hearing her thoughts. Prosy, hi. I hope you are well. Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Evening, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. What's your name?
My name is Tina.
Tina.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me your second name, Tina? That's
okay,
all right. Go ahead and give me your thought.
Okay, this is what I think. Someone has to be in love to be able to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
Is
if
that
you're
the
not in love, like if you don't feel like you are in love yet with a person, don't get married for any other reason, whether it's financial stability or it's because you think that they are Mr. Right or it's an arranged marriage. Yes, so that's my thought.
All right. Tina, do you want to win this hamper that I have?
Yes.
You'd have to tell me your second name, Tina. Hello? Okay, thanks a bunch, Tina. She chickened out. She probably didn't want to mention her second name, but she says that for as long as you are in love, you know, that's what matters. Are you in love? Period. Go ahead and get married. You're ready to get married. All right. What do the rest of you think? The number you can call is 0414 34 20 20, or you could send a text message to 0753 104 104. And I have a gift for one of the callers. It's going to be to one of the people that will call. You call and give us your response. When do you think is the right time to marry? And my guests are going to determine who the person that will walk out with this hamper. A hamper that has a beautiful mug, a card, and chocolate. All those courtesy of this and that. You're saying, what English is that? This and that. That's what they call themselves. It's a company that does a couple of things. So there you are. Somebody here says, you're ready to get married when you feel you're ready. This is Rosette. Rosette, that sounds ambiguous. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yes,
Good evening. How are you?
Awesome, thank you. What's your name?
Ivy
Ivy. Which Ivy is this?
Wakoli.
Ivy Wakoli. Yo, so nigga, tell me.
Well, I think the right time to get married is when you want to get married, not when other people want you to get married.
Oh.
Yes.
So when senior 5 chap says I want to get married?
Not okay. Senior 5 really. I'm thinking if like I'm an adult and I am of consent, I think it's only right for me to do it when I am ready to do it, not because I'm under pressure or because I've been told to do it.
Awesome.
And it's for both.
All right. Thanks a bunch. Ivy, I called her nigga. That's how I refer to her. She's a friend. Very important when you want to get married. Look, many a time people are pushed into things, and that's unfortunate. You want to be sure that it is your decision. You know, do not say yes because people have pushed you to say yes, and do not say no because people have pushed you to say no. Are we saying don't listen to advice? Of course not. Listen to advice, but let it be your choice, your decision. So that you don't end up like, you know the man, Adam, he said, you see God, this woman you gave me. So in this case, they will be like, hey, this person that people pushed me to.
Hey. Oh, dear.
You should be shocked. My mama has sent me a text here. Abla mama. She says, Katigwe, when are you ready? Ngatukoye okulinda.
Hey.
That's my beautiful mother.
Yes.
Good to hear from you, mama. When am I? I'll get married when I am ready. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thanks. What's your name?
Becky.
I'm getting a bit of feedback. Do you think you could lower the volume on your radio set, please?
I'm actually in a taxi.
Oh, you are in a taxi. So tell me, what's your name?
Becky is my name.
Becky who?
Becky Membe.
Becky Mirembe?
Membe.
Ah, Membe.
Yes.
All right, so give me your thought, Becky.
I think when the right person comes around.
When the right person comes around?
Yes, when the right person proposes.
Who is the right person then?
When you're in agreement with everything, the person will propose. When you say yes, you're ready, that's it.
I see.
Yes. Because you can't, I'm actually talking on the side of the lady, when the guy.
The side of the ladies, when the right guy proposes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks so much for your thoughts, Becky.
Okay.
All right, and tell those taxi guys to put Power FM, eh? Otherwise, tell those taxi, the conductor, the radio, they should tune to Power FM. Otherwise, do not pay them their fare. I'm kidding, but thanks a bunch.
I want to win that.
You come again?
I want to win that.
You want to win the bouquet, the hamper. All right, my guests are going to determine that. So just keep tuned in and wait.
Okay, thanks.
All right, that's Becky there. She says when the right person proposes. That's for her as a lady, you know, when the right person comes around. I'm thinking, okay, how about the guys,
She
you know?
said something with everything.
When what?
Did you say something with everything?
Well, she said a couple of things. Her audio wasn't too clear because she's in a taxi, but there you are. How about the guys? When should you marry? Like my mama is asking, Joel, when are you going to marry? Mama, I am coming. Keep praying. I know she prays real hard for me. Good evening.
Yes, hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you, Joel?
I'm well, thank you. What's your name, Chief?
This is Laptop speaking.
But you laptop. Okay.
What is it?
Laptop, when are you going to marry? Seriously.
This year. This year.
Laptop, you remember you told me that in 2011, the same thing with this year. Until now, you see, I have burst your bubble. But Laptop, when do you think a guy is ready to marry?
Anyway, that topic is really a wide one, eh? But for me, I think specifically for a guy, if you've gotten someone you love and you know you will be able to take care of them, not these things of you get them and then you don't know how you're going to take care of them. Okay, maybe by faith, but to me personally, I think if a guy can take care of a lady that they have found and they are willing to marry them till committed, I think that is when someone would really be ready to get married.
Laptop, you sound very intelligent this evening. Are you okay? Is everything all right?
It's just my weakness, by the way.
That's your weakness.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a bunch for your thoughts, laptop. I need to get your full name. These laptop things we call you. Tebikola.
No, Rabutomize Joseph.
Rabutumize.
Joseph.
Kale mwenu Joseph webade.
Niwe webale mnonga.
All right, Joseph. Thanks a bunch.
Aye.
All right. There you are. When a guy is ready to take care of a lady, of course, the ladies will say, look, that is relative. What do you mean by taking care of me? You know, when we are living in Waise, whereby I have to cross, from our house to the other side to go and take a shower, or I don't know where. It can be relative. But interesting. When a guy feels ready to take care of a lady. How about the rest of you? What do you think? All right, let me read some messages here. Thanks, presenters. The right time is when you are able to meet your obligations as a man and then find your love. Bukenya. Yosa is rebutting here. Go Joel. Yosa is a landlord and waiting to finance your wedding because you are ripe. I am waiting to marry the fourth wife to keep our lineage. Yosa, banange Yosa. Yosa, what's wrong with your problem? Yosa, you're waiting to finance my wedding. All right, when it comes, you will hear. Somebody else here says, the time is now. This is Josh. Josh, the time is now. What does that mean? All right, another person says, today you hear a pastor tell girls to ask guys who approach them, Olinakachi. Don't allow a guy who will take you to a kazigo has nothing. This has made girls look at material things as a basis for marriage, hence pushing away the guys. This happened when I was planning to launch my manifesto, and it really destroyed my confidence. This is Sam. Janice, you talked about, the way you did things for your case. You accepted this man as he was then. You believed in what you could become together. And of course, you've talked about many a lady today are not that way. No. And I know we are very quick to blame them. But look, many times they actually have these things, shoved down their throats by their parents, by their, people they look up to and that kind of thing. How do we help the girl today? Because you see, they're being bombarded left, right, and center. She'll look at this guy, he does not have much to his name, but she's like, look, I'm actually okay with it. But when she introduces the guy to the parents and the friends, and they're like, no, are you kidding? Are you smoking expired weed? What's wrong with you? Don't you know who we are? And and the girl is left there, which is in limbo of sorts. How do we help these young ladies? Should they become obdurate and say, look, I love this guy, I'm going with him, whether you like him or not?
Well, I'll start by referring to actually picking up from Ivy. I think Ivy said something about getting married when you're ready. No, actually self-motivated. You're not being pushed. You're not getting married to please anyone else but you, because eventually it's going to be the two of you in that marriage. Now, about that, you've met your guy. You've met a guy. One, it is not going to be your father who is going to live with that man, or that your mother.
But they'll tell you the Bible says we should obey our parents. And
we should obey our parents. We need to, because first of all, you need to have the desire to marry. You don't just marry. When one of the person who called in said that when the right guy comes around, I'll marry. The lady also needs to have had the desire. I mean, you don't just wait around for the right guy. You have the desire and you've been praying. So when the right guy pops, that's the only way you know it's the right guy. Back to the lady who is being cornered and what? Many times. For example, myself, by the time I got married, I remember I think I just lost my dad a year back, a year or two ago. And so I had all this pressure of my relatives saying, this is what we need to do first, and we need to do ABCD as far as culture was concerned before you bring about these wedding things. But I went on my knees and prayed and told God, you know what? One, I am a Christian. I so much respect my parents because my dad had passed and my mom had no problem with me getting married. But I had these fatherly figures who were standing in place of my what? Of my father. And for them, they were like, until ABCD is done, no marriage. I went on my knees and prayed. But the thing is, I was of age. And I was able to respectfully go to my guardians and tell them, look here, this is the man I would love to marry. No offense, I don't want to disrespect you, but please, I am not going to go back on my word and say I will ditch this guy because this is your opinion about it.
But some will say, look, Janice, for you are a tough cookie. Many a lady out there are not that way. They're very subservient.
You have to stand up for what you want, or else you just fall for any guy.
So
I've known some friends who have just abandoned the person they love,
And this is
have
when
settled
maturity
for
comes
less.
in.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ronald. Maturity comes in right here because
Yes.
this is a lifelong journey you're taking, and you're going to take it alone. Fine, our parents are there to guide us. We seek advice from them, and I'm not saying rebel. Please don't rebel.
Against your parents.
Please don't rebel against your parents, but respectfully make your choice and decision made known,
No one.
so that they can also respect you, because that's the first way they'll start respecting and trusting you. You know, if you keep caving in, they will keep making every single decision for you.
Thinking you are not ready and you are not
Because
mature
they're like,
enough.
oh, this girl is not ready. She can't even stand up for her. She can't even really decide. You see, we told her about it, and now she also sees loopholes. So if you put your foot down, and please, respectfully, I emphasize.
respectfully, very important.
Respectfully.
Ronald, talk to the guys a little bit. I've met ladies who will say, but look, you see, we are ready. I feel ready, you know, but the guys around me, they're like sissies. They are men with wobbly feet, you know. They don't seem to know what they want. They are very lousy. They don't seem as hardworking,
That's
and
an
they probably come
interesting
from
word.
good families and so on. But they're just lousy chaps. They're not serious, you know. Even though we feel ready, and so the ladies will say, "This is the challenge. We are ready." The guys do not seem to be. Are we expecting too much of the guys? Are we probably putting a heavy load on them, putting them on a pedestal of sorts?
You know, Joel, I think I learned something about ladies, that they want someone who is going to present themselves as able to stand
On their 2 feet.
on their 2 feet and, I mean, decide and stand and be a man. You see, most of our guys, they complain of money, they complain of this and that. Then they never take care of themselves. They never take care of their shirts, they never take care of their shoes, they never take care of anything about them. Then they continue complaining, things are hard, women are not easy to find. I mean,
Become
they're not serious.
presentable.
You know, even if you don't have a house,
Become
a
presentable
car-
or become a presenter.
Yes, I mean, just become a serious
you love
man.
yourself.
Wake up and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I'm telling you, women, ladies are looking for a man who is presentable. Yeah, I learned that they want a man who is going to give security. I mean, you know, whether they have the money or
But now
not.
me who doesn't have biceps.
You don't have the biceps. This is not what we are talking about.
Security
We are
is
not
not
talking about the
biceps.
biceps.
Of course,
Joel.
of course.
Yeah.
All right, there's a question for you here, Janice. Thanks for the show. Somebody says, how old was Janice when she got married? Because I'm 22 and I want to get married. Thirsty. Do you want to answer them?
Yeah, I was 24 when I got married.
were 24.
Yes.
Look, I have met some 19-year-old girls and you don't see the 19 about them. You're thinking, by the time you realize they're actually 19,
children
they're
have
so
developed
mature,
very
you know.
yeah.
So age is just but a number. But just make sure you're 18. For starters, that's the basic one. Hello.
Hi, Joel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. Becky member again. I was in a taxi. I actually wasn't so comfortable talking, and I was worried that you guys were going to close.
So give me your quick thought in 30 seconds, Becky.
Yeah, what I want to say is there is something I want to talk about, the thing of finances. Where they say girls are gold diggers, what. But what I'm thinking is, if you're working hard and then this guy just looks for, what exactly do you want the girl to do? Like the girl is working hard and the guy is sleeping on the parents' porch. Like every morning.
Leave him. What are you doing with that chap, Becky?
Truthfully speaking, there are so many lazy guys on the street. Like, there are so many. Personally, like, most of the people I meet, you feel like you end up being the man in the relationship.
Okay, very unfortunate. But thanks a bunch for sharing that thought.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Becky there. Hey, but Becky, you're always meeting the wrong ones. Why? Is there a problem with you? I'm not insinuating anything. She says, most men out there are lazy and so on. That's not true. Just like some guys will say, all well ladies, Simanya, they are cheats and they are stuff. And come on, that's not true. You know, there are good guys out there. There are good ladies out there. This will be our last caller. Good evening.
Joel, I caught the discussion at the tail end.
Banange
Which
Flavia,
Janice
so
is
tell
that?
me. Which Janice is this? Janice
Yeah.
Luchamuzi.
Hi, Janice.
Hi, Flash. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. Good to hear from you.
You too. I don't know what you are discussing. What were you discussing, Joel?
When is the right time to marry? Tell me in 5 seconds.
After you have finished school.
Uh-huh.
Janice says she got married at 24. Well, good for her. She was, I hope, mature at that time. But I think because most people finish school here around about 24, around about that age, right?
Okay, so for you,
Yeah,
it is
so,
school.
You have to finish school. You have to finish campus, and I think take off like a year or two to find yourself, establish, put your feet on the ground, and then you can think of getting married.
Awesome. Thanks a bunch for your thoughts, Flavia.
Bye.
All right, see you. That is Flavia there. The other day, hundreds, thousands actually graduated. So there you are,
There
you
you
know.
are.
Go out there, get married. But of course, that's not what Flavia was saying. Ladies and gentlemen, our time is up. Give me your final thoughts. Let me begin with Ronald.
Okay.
In
for
about
me,
30 seconds.
for me, I would like to tell every young man outside there who is alone and burning with loneliness, I want to tell you that trust God. Know what you want and be presentable. Take care of yourself, be presentable, go out and meet that lady.
All right.
God will take care of everything.
There you are. Be presentable, go out. Be confident, guys. Have intrepidity. And finally, we didn't know.
Janice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, Ronald has said fear God and trust God. But I would still stand, not but, I would just say and, I would still encourage young ladies to get married earlier than later.
Earlier than
Now,
later.
yes, it's okay if you're not ready, because you need to be ready to marry and you need to have the desire. If the desire is not there, I tell you, you just be wasting your time. But start early, because early means you have energy to put into the marriage. You have time to spend on each other.
To build
you
your
have
marriage.
time to build together, to appreciate that time together. But you also have time to raise the children when you're still very strong and energetic. I really appreciate when you start early, that I started early, because then now most of my energy, I don't remember regretting having my children
And
early
you look
as
very
well.
young, by the way.
Thank you very much. And my
So
husband.
that's know that you married at 12. But there you are.
No. But start early.
Start early.
There's some advantages, very
Yeah,
good ones.
22 is a good year for both boys and
When
girls.
you're done with school,
Yeah, when you're
yes.
done with school.
But it depends on what school. It could be a master's, and the masters can always come later, really.
There you are.
Yes.
Janice Luchamuzi and Ronald Rugasira, thanks a bunch for joining us and for sharing your nuggets with us. We
Thank
need to
you
give
for
away
having
this
us.
hamper. Who do we give it to? There was a Tina who says when you're in love. They didn't give a second name. Ivy Wakoli says when you want, not when others want. And then Becky says when the right person proposes. Joseph says when ready to take care of the lady. Flavia says after school. I saw you take notes. Who do we give it to? Ronald, who do you go with? My time is up. We need to decide.
I think it's going to be our colleague.
Ivy Wakoli.
Yeah.
And
That was
Janice, what do you
Ivy.
think?
You have to be self-motivated. No one should push you. Yeah, I think I loved that.
Okay.
But I also loved Tina.
So who do it? Can only be one person. Tina didn't give a second name though. These
Oh,
people have
she
to come with
didn't.
IDs.
Because she said you have to have that desire and you have to be in love. You can't. Well, then, Ivy it is.
Ivy, you're my friend. That's chocolate. We shall talk. You have to. But Ivy, you'll come to Bar FM on Friday 13th with your ID and you'll get that hamper. All right, that's our show for tonight. I read a quote yesterday that I loved. This one probably is for the ladies. That ladies, when you ignore a guy who has a vision and go with a guy who has a television, soon you'll watch the guy with a vision on your husband's television.
That's correct.
There you are. That's our show for tonight. Thanks a
my
bunch for
word.
joining us. So long, everybody.
Bye.